In 1997, Target Tech, the Amber division of Federal Signal, released a direct drive version of the Model 14 and a direct drive light that they called the Revolution Beacon. It had a single 50-watt halogen lamp suspended from the top and a reflector that rotated around it. I have one, and I'm not a huge Federal Signal person, so I haven't really messed around with it, but it dawned on me that aside from the Vision or Smart Vector, this is the only direct drive rotating lamp that I've really ever seen. Why? The Vision and Smart Vector, there's a lot of really good reasons for a direct drive stepper motor. And essentially, with the right microprocessor, it turns the reflector into the smart pod. But there's nothing smart about this. The literature seems to talk about amp draw being low, and that is true. This particular beacon only draws a little bit more than like 0.3 amps over what the bulb draws, which is essentially just the bulb. Whereas a gear drive or a regular 12 volt beacon, the bulb is most of the current draw, but the motor may grab like half an amp or an amp depending on how old it is and how efficient it is. So why? Again, why? What were we saving here? Is it because quiet? Maybe it doesn't make as much noise. It doesn't. It's very quiet. There's just a lot of circuitry. There's everything you would think there would be for a driver for a stepper motor. Anyone that has messed around with drones or 12 volt or DC stepper motors knows you need a microcontroller to run them. They're not brushed. That's the advantage. They theoretically last longer. This particular one is available still commercially and was the one that was in fact used in the Vision and Smart Vector. They are pretty decent motors from what I can tell, and they also lend themselves to being reversed very easily, which made a lot of sense for the Vision, for the oscillating components of the Vision, and they will stop and index very, very well. A stepper motor can be indexed to every step, so that's how they got it to face front and rear and jog for the different spots for the floodlights. So it made a lot of sense for the Vision. So why here? So I kept messing around with this, trying to figure out if there's some sort of feature that I'm not seeing. Is this thing going to turn into a smart pod? Am I missing just one connection away from making this thing steady burn? Like, what's going on here where I am not getting this? And the extra tab you see there is just for the light bulb. So there really is no other connection. This is a control board that makes the stepper motor spin. That's what it does. There's no pause. There's no oscillate. I was pretty disappointed, honestly. I was hoping that there was going to be some hidden agenda here and that this was going to turn into an oscillating beacon or a stop and flash. I don't know. But I would call it a missed opportunity. It was only manufactured in 1997, so I assume no one really needed this technology for any real reason. Regular motors, brushed motors work just fine. The downside of a brushed motor, though, is going to be that it's not going to be direct drive. There's going to be a gear, and the gears are what's noisy. And the gear system may also cause a little bit of strain on the motor and up your amp draw. But again, the amp draw is negligible from the motor in the light. It's almost always the 50-watt halogen bulb. So the benefit that I was seeing was noise. That was really it. So even with the ball bearing rotator on the right here, which is supposedly smoother and quieter than the ones that were available in 97, it's still some noise because there's a gear involved. And maybe that's not really fair because that beacon is from 99, so 2 years, whatever. Um, if only there were something else that we could do to make a beacon quiet without putting a microcontroller and a stepper motor in it. Oh, that's right, belt drive. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time, like a really long time. Europe does that, and it Echo does it. Lots of Trilight does it. So belt drive, it's just a tiny bit louder. You can use a regular old brushed DC motor, and it works just fine. So if anybody knows what the idea was here, am I missing something? Why? Like, seriously, why though? If anybody knows, give me a comment below. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted it to oscillate.